Welcome to the Jamie Bordas Show. I am feeling good today. It is finally September. Maybe we'll be rid of that August heat. What a hot summer it has been. And being a football coach, I like to get a little bit cooler temperatures. And it's funny because you always say in August it's way too hot, and then by the time it comes playoff time in November, you say, man, I wish it wasn't so cold. But I do love late September and early October. But we got a great show for you today. I'm feeling good because I got a new haircut. His and hers out in Elm Grove, right near the Elm Grove DeCarlos, where I go to get my haircut. Big shout out to Patty there, always does a great job, gets me in, always has chocolate chip cookies for everybody there, so great job by her. But we're going to have a wonderful show today because we're going to have Josh Contraguerro on the show with us from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, who is also a former West Virginia University football player. And we're going to be talking to him about what it means to be a college football player, what's the life of a college football player like, and maybe a little bit about what the Mountaineers are going to be like this year. We'll start off with some of our usual features, though, which is the Community Champion of the Week. This week is someone that I've known for a long time, and that's Becky Schilling-Rodacher. Becky, I first met her actually when she was coaching hockey as a teenager. My dad was our hockey coach, and he didn't know how to skate even, so he knew how to put people in different positions, so he thought he better get somebody that knows what they're doing with skating. So Becky was one of the people he recruited who was a teenager to come out and help with the hockey practices, and I've known Becky since then, and she's gone on to do great things here in the community. She's the director of the soup kitchen and is always looking for ways to help people. Even just this week, I saw her and she's talking about, hey, maybe this person or that person can help with the walk for the homeless, the Greater Wheeling Coalition. She's always doing fundraisers, looking out for what can we do to help the people that are less fortunate here in this area. And I think we're very blessed and fortunate to have someone like Becky running the soup kitchen and doing so many good things for people that need it the most. So Becky Schilling-Rodacher is our community champion. Thank you, Becky, for all you do for the community. Next, I want to turn our attention to my card here, which is the quote of the week. And the quote of the week this week comes from a source that we all need to maybe take a closer look at on a more regular basis, and that's the Bible. And our quote is, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you," the golden rule. And the reason that I chose that for the quote this week is that, it comes from the Sermon on the Mount. If you look at the Gospel of Luke, you'll find the words there that Jesus spoke, and that's where we get this phrase from. But so oftentimes today, we focus on what has someone else done for us or what have they done to us rather than treating them the way we would want to be treated, not how we have been treated. And I think that's important to remember, that sometimes people will do things to us that we don't like. And our first instinct may be to treat them nasty in return, to maybe say something derogatory, to put something on social media. And that's something we see all too often these days, are people not thinking before they post on social media. When you hit that button to post, it's there for people to see. And sometimes you think you can take it back, what's already been out there. And I think we need to really concentrate and think about how would we want others to treat us? Do unto them as we would want them to do unto us, not as they have done. So that's our quote of the week. Next up, our legal tip. Something we've been doing each week here on the show. And this week is something that actually kind of pertains to a field involving our guest on this week's show, Josh Contraguerro and his business. But I thought it might be appropriate because someone at my firm, Michelle Marinesi, actually wrote a blog on this subject recently. And that is, you don't have to use the restoration company your insurance carrier insists upon. Many times we'll have a water loss in our house or a fire loss or some other type of damage to our home, and we report it to our insurance carrier and they say, well, you have to use this particular contractor, whether it be a restoration company or it be a plumber or it be whatever it may be. The contract is what governs the relationship between you and your insurance carrier. They can't force you to use a vendor that you don't want to use unless the contract says they can. And most of the times, believe me, it does not. You have a right to have your home put back the way you want it to be put back with using good quality workmanship, and you have a right to select who you want to do that. Oftentimes, insurance carriers will have preferred vendors that they call. Hey, these people are on our list, so this is who you can choose from. If the contract and the insurance contract you have doesn't say that, then you don't have to go from that list. And the reason that's important is that oftentimes the reason these people are on these lists is because they're going to give discounted rates to the insurance carrier in exchange for being a preferred vendor. And they want to stay on that preferred vendor status. So they're somewhat beholden to these insurance companies and want to do what the insurance company tells them to do instead of what you, the homeowner, tells them to do in terms of how your house should be put back together. Just like you don't want insurance companies controlling your medical care or controlling how your vehicle is fixed, you certainly don't want them controlling how your home gets put back together. So it's important to make sure that you understand what you do and don't have to listen to when the insurance company is telling you this is what has to be done with respect to your house. So if you need to, go out, have the get a copy of the insurance contract from your agent, read it, review it. If you can't understand it, ask someone who may. You may need to talk to a lawyer. You may need to talk to someone at the restoration company to see, hey, do I really have to use them or can I use you? And then make a decision after that, because our homes are usually our most valuable assets in almost every instance. We spend a lot of our time there, and we want to make sure that they're taken care of in a professional and appropriate manner. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Josh Contraguerro of Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration about his business, about his work, and also a little bit about his background. Stay with us on the Jamie Bordas Show.
You can love what you drive.
During the summer clearance event, get up to $11,000 off or 0% for 72 months on most Ram models. Drive away in a Ram 1500 Crew Cab 4x4 for only $229 per month. Save over $8,000 with 20% off a new Dodge Charger or Chrysler 300. Credit problems? No problem. Get rates as low as 3.9% on selected new models.
You can love what you drive at Sunset.
So, how was your first day?
Long. So, Josh asked me about you.
Daddy's home. Go get him.
For your home, for your life, for more than 50 years. The Hardwood Specialists. DeNoon Lumber.
Welcome back to the show. This week, for my guest, I actually have the person who suggested our quote of the week last week, and that is Josh Contraguerro from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Josh, thanks for being here today on the show. Thanks for suggesting the quote of the week last week, which was "The cream always rises to the top," which you know it does.
Oh, yeah.
But good to have you here on the show. And I want to talk a little bit about Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. A couple different divisions now, multiple locations. People see your spots with the, seeing that you have a Wheeling, that you have Morgantown, that you have Pittsburgh. But the company has really grown from its initial days, which started out with your dad by himself.
Yeah, and he went door to door and got contracts, and we actually started out as a carpet cleaning company, and many people here in Wheeling that knew where he came from still remembers us as Panhandle Carpet Cleaning, and we've come a long way in these 40 years, but still true to our roots, and with my dad's guidance and still there every day, he makes sure we don't forget it and we stay on the right path.
Of course, he started the business because his father passed away when your dad was only 16 and needed to help support the family, and he actually only went to school half a day and then would the second half of the day go out and, as you said, knock on doors and asking people, can I clean your carpets for you? So it took a lot of drive, initiative, foresight on his part to do that as a youngster, and then now to build it into the company it is today with all the employees, well over 100 employees, vehicles all over the place. Hard to go somewhere without seeing a Panhandle truck.
Yes, it is. It's exciting to see, especially when we go into some of these other areas. When we worked Hurricane Sandy, to see Panhandle trucks driving through New York City, I mean, it's a really cool feeling.
Speaking of going to other areas, of course, this summer, devastating flooding in the southern part of West Virginia, down in Greenbrier County and the other southern counties in the state of West Virginia. But you guys were on the scene very quickly and still have people down there working to try to help that part of our state rebuild.
Yes, and the key is still trying to rebuild. I mean, these families and these businesses and homes, they're going to be rebuilding for years. They lost their lives, really. So long after the media leaves, long after donations stop coming, these people are still going to be rebuilding. So it's a great feeling to be there to help to get businesses back open so that their employees can get paychecks so that they can fix their own homes and things like that. So our guys had a great sense of pride going down there and helping those people.
People may not realize, but One of the nice things about Panhandle is you have response teams 24 hours a day. So somebody has something happen in the middle of the night, a water break or a fire or whatever else may happen that's a disaster that affects their lives, they can call Panhandle day and night.
Yeah, 24 hours a day, like you said. Holidays, I mean, disasters don't know it's a holiday, doesn't know it's Christmas Eve morning. And our guys, they're on the road within a matter of an hour or so. They're moving. We have the trucks already all stocked and ready to go. The employees know their roles, know what they're going to do. Ready to help families or businesses through that devastation.
What's the coolest place you guys have gotten to work or see?
I would have to say the Intrepid Museum in New York City after Hurricane Sandy. It was a really cool experience to be part of.
Yeah. There's another division now of Panhandle, which is Panhandle Custom Homes, Kitchens, and Baths. And that division actually responsible for building this beautiful set we have here on the show. Bruce down there always does a great job and wonderful guy. But tell our viewers a little bit about what does that division do, the Custom Homes, Kitchens, and Baths, and a little bit about your showroom there.
Yeah. So although it sounds newer, we're starting to promote it more. We've been doing, for instance, kitchens and baths and home renovations and remodeling for years after fires, after a flood or after a fire comes through and devastates the kitchen. We've been the ones redesigning, reestablishing, and rebuilding the kitchen. So now we've done to where you don't have to have a disaster. You don't need to have that negative starting point. You can plan ahead, and we have our own on-staff kitchen designer. You mentioned Bruce, the custom aspect of it. Bruce can do basically anything that your mind can come up with. He can make it, and that's where that division goes. And whether it's a basement build out or a kitchen remodel, a bathroom remodel, room addition to building a complete new home construction from scratch, we can do the whole thing and walk with you every step of the way. So you always have that designated project manager walking you through to each division that we hold, and you don't have to worry about, oh, well, we found this guy for this and this guy for that. We are that guy. Yeah,
it does make it nice that you have one stop, whether it be a disaster that's happened or just a new build out. You have a showroom where people can actually go and look at the products, look at the cabinets, look at the tile, look at the various things they may want to put into their home and pick it out right there.
Exactly, and you can, instead of trying to look through a book, you have the large samples. You can put them together and say, is this countertop going to look good with this cabinet, with this tile, and really have them all together right there, feel it, touch it, see how it works, and see all the cool features that these cabinet designers and such are coming up with. Some really cool storage capabilities and making the space bigger than it really is, and that's what everybody wants these days, more space.
And you do marketing there at Panhandle,
yes.
So you've got to promote all that,
yeah.
And you obviously do a wonderful job with it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's tough sometimes because we're fortunate we do so much. So you got to be able to touch base on everything, and it's a lot of products and a lot of videos that I'm watching late at night, laying in bed watching how-to videos and what this new, whether it's a piece of drying equipment that we have on the restoration side or a new product line that we're carrying on the custom home side. It's a fun balance for me.
We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue talking to Josh Contraguerro, but we'll turn our attention to his background as a college football player and what that's like. Stay with us on the Jamie Bordas Show.
Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration has been restoring homes after disasters for nearly 4 decades. Through that experience, we present Panhandle Custom Homes, Kitchens, and Baths. We handle your entire project, from concept to completion, working with you every step of the way. From the budget-minded upgrade to a fully custom remodel, you can trust the Panhandle name. Panhandle Custom Homes, Kitchens, and Baths. Welcome home.
Every day, more than 70,000 puppies and kittens are born in the United States. Just one female can contribute more than 2 million offspring in 8 years. At the Tiffany DeLess Spay and Neuter Clinic, we are trying to help. We offer reduced cost services to income-qualified families from all over the Ohio Valley. We understand that the cost of owning a pet can be overwhelming, and that stress multiplies when they do. Call the Tiffany DeLess Spay and Neuter Clinic or visit us online to find out if we can help you.
Welcome back to the show. We're speaking with this week's guest, Josh Contraguerro of Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. We've talked a little bit about the business side of things. Now, I want to talk college football. It's September, and college football is underway. And Josh was a college football player for West Virginia University, not something that many people in this area have gotten to do over the course of the years. And what's it like being a college football player?
It's really some of the best years, met some of the best people, but a lot of work. A lot of people see the Saturday afternoon games, and like you said, it's football season's here. It's my personal favorite time of the year, football season, especially college football. It'll always have a special place in my heart, but the work that goes in the other 6 days out of the week is where the life is different than a normal college student.
Well, people may not understand that. I mean, you know, what is the typical day for a college football player like? You know, start off in the morning and take us through the day.
So realistically, for the most part, I mean, you're starting your day, you're reporting on a football property, for instance, around 6 a.m. You're going through your 6 a.m. workouts, your conditioning. Even during the season, you're still working out conditioning. You might take a 45-minute after that to go to the training room to get treatment, to get ice on a rough shoulder or rough neck, or to go through physical therapy, rehabilitating a rolled ankle or something like that. And then it's, for instance, 8:30, 9 o'clock. The rest of the college population's just getting out of bed, maybe to go to class, and you've already put in 3 hours.
With me, it was usually 10:30 or 11.
So then you're going to sit in class there for a good chunk of the day. Obviously, classes, there are breaks and such. So, and then you got about 2:15 rolls around, and you're reporting back to the stadium. You got practice then, and then films and then practice. Sometimes it's flip-flopped. You get your dinner at 6 p.m. You might go back and hit the training room again if you have a lingering injury. You get out there, say 7:30, 8 o'clock. Realistically, you're putting in 14-hour days, and you think about 14-hour day now outside of school, and that's a long work day, and you really are working, whether it's mentally with school and film or physically with treatments and workouts. You're putting in those 14-hour days every day.
Of course, then you have to still do your schoolwork,
Exactly.
your homework, like everybody else does too. When you get out there at that point late in the day and try to keep up those studies, which of course you did. You had tremendous academic success at WVU, but not easy to do when you're putting in that type of hours and you're tired, you're worn out from all those things.
Yeah, you just want to go home and go to bed, but you're off to a library to meet for a group project or go home and study for a midterm or something. But that lifestyle teaches and instills stuff that goes well into what my career is like now, and seeing my friends and what they're doing with their careers now, and you learn how to get things done when you don't think there's enough time, or mentally or physically do something that you thought you never could, and that grows in you, that's in your mind, and it helps you to organize your time better at work. And there's companies throughout the country that really focus on college athletes because they know they have that discipline to turn down going out to a party with a friend because they have to work the next day, and they're not going to go do something that could be deemed wrong or something like that. So it really helps you in the long run.
Of course, you know, you started off as a walk-on at WVU. Your last year, you were awarded a scholarship as a result of your hard work, and quite an accomplishment to be awarded a scholarship by a Division I program in the Big 12 like West Virginia.
Yeah, thank you. That was it was definitely something that was unexpected. Just doing about what I felt was needed to do, doing what some people would say is extraordinary, but I was putting in the work, getting the grades, still doing the work. I was not missing things, and it was great to be recognized by the coaching staff for my hard work.
Of course, your last year there, Coach Holgerson's first year as the head coach.
Yes.
And resulted in your final game, you know, the 70-33 big win over Clemson in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
What was it like playing for Coach Holgerson?
It was well, it was definitely different than Coach Stu, Coach Bill Stewart. Fantastic guy. Always will hold a special place in my heart. But you know, different isn't always bad. So it was a good different, and he's starting to get things more comfortable as a head coach. It was his first year as a head coach even, and then to go at a program at that level and coming off some good years. So he had a lot of pressure. He's dealing with it well. He's a fantastic guy. He cares about his players just like a Coach Stu did. Cares about what they're doing, cares about are they going to class, and are they doing the right things outside of football. And that's the biggest thing, is for coaches to actually take the time to know their players and make sure that their life outside of football is going as well as their life inside of football, and Coach Holgerson does that.
You've continued to have a relationship with him. You know, your Panhandle has, of course, a partnership with WVU Athletics, and even see Coach Holgerson on the Panhandle commercials now.
Yeah, and riding on the side of my truck too. And he's, like I said, and it's fun now to see, or great now to see the development that's changed over the last few years, and still being connected with the program the way I am, and getting to see that kind of what some of the outsiders or normal fans would see as maybe rough edges is smoothed over, and he's a fantastic guy, competitor. I mean, you don't get to where you are, whether you're an athlete or a coach at that level. I mean, heck, even in high school, nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to not succeed. So, I mean, he puts his heart and soul into it, and he truly bleeds West Virginia. I mean, it's neat, the stuff he's put in effect with the program, with like the man trip and bringing the coal to the inside of the stadium for every player to touch. And they go through basically a West Virginia 101 now when they bring in out-of-state players, and really that blue-collar work ethic, he's really emphasizing, and he's doing a great job with it.
We need to take a break. When we come back, we're going to keep Josh Contraguerro on the show. We'll continue talking college football. We'll talk our other sports and award our sports person of the week. Stay with us on the Jamie Bordas Show.
Take home the gold today in a nicer, newer car from Bob Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac.
Now at Bob Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, lease an all-wheel drive Chevy Trax for $0 down and just $219 per month. Or how about a Chevy Cruze LT for $0 down, only $229 per month.
Come to Bob Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, part of Robinson Auto Group. We're the dealer for the people.
Fighting for homeowners.
Fighting for workers.
Fighting for children.
Fighting for mineral owners.
Fighting for patients.
Fighting for policyholders.
Bordas and Bordas, fighting for justice.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to talk sports. We've been doing that a little bit already with today's guest, Josh Contraguerro, but first we want to award our sports person of the week. This week it saddens me, but also is an honor to present our sports person of the week, and that is longtime Wheeling Central teacher and coach Greg Sacco. Coach Sack passed away this week all too early. Here's a photo of me and him about 10 years ago when I was looking a little younger, certainly, but what a great guy Coach Sack was. He was a wide receivers defensive end coach for the football team, but he also drove the bus, took care of the equipment, and was a friend to everyone. If you talk to his students at Wheeling Central who had him over the years, almost to a T, they have nothing but good things to say about him. Josh, you were one of those people that had him as a teacher and as a coach, and what do you remember about him?
Just his willingness to want to help and listen and be there for whether it's a student that's having some troubles, whether even if it's personal issues, he would be there and lend an ear and lend some support and to the coach. And he went about his business, did his job, and he didn't want extra credit for anything. He didn't want the praise. He did a lot of stuff, like you said, the equipment stuff on the back side of things. And he's probably shaking his head now, it's giving him too much attention, because that's just how he did. He wanted to live his life and just help people and be there to mentor kids. And I can't even imagine how many people he's touched. But
really great guy, and very sad to have him gone so early. Our sports person of the week, Greg Sacco. Turning our attention to another issue in sports, Colin Kaepernick, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, has refused and indicates he'll continue to refuse to stand for the national anthem to take a stand against racial inequality. Caused quite a stir, a lot of attention in the media. I have a lot of friends that are black. I grew up with guys like Mike McLeod and Boogie Johnson, still friends with them today. Also have good friends now, Curtis McGee, Hayden Cook, and I'll never be able to fully appreciate what black people go through in this country. There are things that happen that are difficult for them that others don't have to face. And I'd be the first to stand right there with them and march for justice, take a stand on issues, and make sure that people are treated equally. But with that being said, Colin Kaepernick is going about it the wrong way. Not standing for the national anthem of our country is not the way to make his point. Football is a team sport. It's a game where you play with one another and you're supposed to stand up together for that national anthem. People die for our flag. People fight for our country to protect that flag, like my good friend Jeff Brown, a partner at my law firm, who was a lieutenant in the United States Army. Not standing for the national anthem is inappropriate, a sign of disrespect, and not something that he should be showing to our children out there. Colin, stand up for that flag. Stand up for the national anthem. Put your hand on your heart and show the respect it deserves. I hope he does it in the near future. Let's talk college football real quick. College football is going to be underway here, and local teams, West Virginia, Josh, how are they going to do this year?
I think they're going to jump up the preseason rankings, and I think they're finish strong contenders in the Big 12. I think they're going to be right up there with the big names and finish well.
Tough Big 12. We'll be interested to see what Ohio State does after those great teams in the last couple of years. Michigan's supposed to be tremendous this year, and it'll be interesting to see now JT Barrett at quarterback full-time. What will Ohio State do this year now that there is no quarterback situation? JT Barrett's team, let's see what they do. And my alma mater, Notre Dame, a lot of Notre Dame fans here in the area, still trying to decide who the quarterback's going to be. Coach Kelly says he's going to play 2. We'll see how that goes, but I think Notre Dame is primed for a great season. That leads me to my picks for the college football playoff this year. I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I have to do it. It's my alma mater. I root for them every week. I got to go with them every year until they win one. I haven't won it since '88. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I'm going to go with Michigan, a team I don't like because I think they're going to knock off Ohio State in that big game at the end of the season in the Big Ten. I'm going to go with Alabama. Tough to pick against the Crimson Tide. They're there almost every year. And my maybe sleeper pick is out of the Big 12, and that's TCU. Love what Coach Gary Patterson does there. He always has a great defense. He's had great offense in recent years. I like him a lot as a coach. I'm going to go with those 4 teams. Josh, quickly, give me your 4 picks for the college football playoff.
I like yours, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to go LSU out of the SEC, Michigan State out of the Big 10, Oklahoma out of the Big 12, and Clemson out of the ACC.
Well, some repeat teams there. Fournette down at LSU, great back. Could be a Heisman contender there for sure. And Deshaun Watson, of course, down at Clemson, great quarterback. So thanks to all of you for watching this week. Josh, thanks for being here. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoy the kickoff of the college football season. Some great games opening week and some great games in the weeks to come. Good luck to your teams. I hope you have a fun time watching them. They provide you lots of excitement during the course of this season. We hope that you all enjoyed today's show. We'll see you again next week on The Jamie Bordas Show.